is a deal between Iran and world powers regarding that country's nuclear ambitions, but it's not the deal, not the one that many diplomats and foreign observers were hoping for. And as for who scuttled the big deal, there's a lot of finger pointing and some applause. Here's senior foreign affairs correspondent Amy Kellogg.
When Secretary of State John Kerry and his counterparts winged it to Geneva at the very last moment, it was expected that finally a deal was about to be done with Iran. In the end, the French apparently wanted tougher terms for the Islamic Republic. Some called France a spoiler, others a savior. Senator John McCain tweeted, "France had the courage to prevent a bad nuclear agreement with Iran. Viva la France." Secretary Kerry in Abu Dhabi today denied there was discord among allies. He said it was Iran that wouldn't sign.
There was unity, but Iran couldn't take it. At that particular moment, they weren't able to accept that particular agreement. So hard work was done, progress was made, the P5+1 was united.
What happened behind closed doors remains under wraps, but apparently France wanted tighter restrictions on Iran's heavy water reactor at Arak, which will be able to produce plutonium. Some say Arak has been so hobbled with setbacks that it may in fact not be anywhere near operational, and have gone so far as to speculate that France may have homed in on that to secure lucrative business deals in countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, who are skeptical of a deal with Iran. Others say it was genuine concern about this particular site. In Tehran today, the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog signed a deal with the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Agency, agreeing to further access to its nuclear sites and information about Iran's programs, as many questions remain. And Britain's Foreign Secretary William Hague said today he is optimistic the deal bandied about in Geneva will get done. Meetings will resume in just over a week, and he thanked all involved for their hard work, including Iran's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif.
He is a tough but constructive negotiator who displayed a sincere and open approach throughout the talks.
Today, the UK and Iran announced that they are upgrading diplomatic relations. They are not reopening their embassies, but are appointing chargés d'affaires who can act as bridges between the two countries. Britain closed its embassy in Tehran in 2011 after angry mobs stormed it. Brett.
Amy Kellogg in London. Amy, thank you. Senior political analyst Britt Hume is here with his take on the talks with Iran. Good evening, Britt.
Hello, Brett. The most hopeful way to look at the current negotiations with Iran is that the economic sanctions the world has imposed on that rogue nation are now biting so hard that Tehran is finally prepared to forsake its long-cherished goal of a nuclear weapon. But another way to look at it is this. If Iran wants an end to the sanctions, it need only to stop enriching uranium and throw open its doors to rigorous international inspections to prove it. Iran may now allow some inspections, but its latest word on stopping the processing was an emphatic no, which raises the question of who wants a deal more and why. President Obama insists he will never allow Iran to acquire nuclear weapons. Iran has continued in that direction despite the sanctions, bringing the president face to face with the possible need to take military action. But this is a president eager to end wars, not start them, as the recent incident with Syria illustrates. Not to mention that the president's second-term agenda is going nowhere, and the big achievement of his first term, health insurance reform, has so far proved a fiasco and political liability. What could be better, then, than a deal with Iran that could be sold as a first step toward a peaceful resolution of one of the world's most vexing worries? Israel, with a lot to lose, is worried. It doesn't trust Iran, and it doesn't seem to trust President Obama either. Brett?
But what about this role of France and how it's being played?
Unusual, I'd say. Whether France is really the power that blew up this near agreement, or whether it was the Iranians pulling away, remains to be seen. But France clearly was sounding the alarm. And when France sounds the alarm about some course that the United States is leading the way toward, I think we all should be alarmed, because France isn't exactly known as a hawkish country. And the fact that they are nervous about this suggests that they don't trust the United States' leadership the way they and much of the rest of the world once did. And
there may be a vacuum.
Exactly.
For that kind of leadership.
For that kind of leadership, exactly. And, you know, this president wants to lead from behind. Maybe France is showing how that's done.
Britt, thank you.
You bet.
Still ahead.